Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Episode number 444. Drink Until You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. Hope you're feeling a little bit better than I am. I'm actually having just straight up water for this episode. I can't mix my medication with booze. So kind of sucks, but it's hydrating, right? I've had some kind of, upper respiratory thing going on here. So, no booze for me tonight, but I will be drinking with you. If you'd like to drink for me, that'd be great. I'm just going to have this water, so let's go ahead and have our first sip. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. And I'm sitting here watching... By the way, sorry for any sniffles or, coughing into the mic. I'm going to try to do my best here. Watching a little bit of the third game of this series between the Rangers and the Mariners. I caught game 1, caught game 2. Game 3 is on. I think there's a fourth game tomorrow as well. But if we can win this one, we'll actually take the series, which would be great for us. Since the Mariners are nipping at our heels. I mean, not by very much either. We're barely over 500. Looking at the standings here, 53 and 51. Be nice to be 54 and 51. And as I predicted early on in the season, here come the Astros. I knew it. I knew they wouldn't sit down in last place forever. It took a minute for them to get going. I feel like after, they've been through the whole process of winning the World Series, trash can or not, they kind of, I've seen this from them the past few seasons. That's why it was a little bit easier to predict. The Astros sit down, near bottom of the division. And they look like they're not going to do anything, and all of a sudden, what do we just have the All-Star game like a week ago? That usually signifies like roundabout halfway through the season. Now they're going to start turning it on, turning it up, making it harder for my Rangers. Let's see. Yeah, they're 52 and 54. They're only 2 games back. Mariners, I believe if we beat them today, will be 3.5 games back, which is good, but excuse me. This is why it's important to win these divisional series, which, so far, Jock Peterson stole a base yesterday. Now, looking back to last season, he just had one of the worst seasons, I think, by any MLB player ever. Or maybe it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what my Texas Rangers needed, So coming off of that, kind of the good news for him is he doesn't really have to do anything epic to look good. After that season, last season, anything is better. But he actually has been playing pretty decent. I don't know what his average is or anything like that, but I really didn't think he was the base stealing type. He's a bigger guy, which I guess helps if you're tall and long, helps reach the base. Doesn't necessarily make you fast, but he did get a stolen base yesterday. I think he might have gone 4 for 4, at least 3 for 4 yesterday, which is, like I said, comparatively to last season, that's just a huge turnaround. But I'm liking some of the younger guys on the team too. It seems like the way this team is built, it's like the experiences in the pitching. We got Eovaldi. He had a great game yesterday against the Mariners. DeGrom, is he out? I don't know. I actually need to check. I haven't watched enough lately to know if he's still pitching. But yeah, it just seems like our pitching rotation, our starters, there's a little bit more of the experience, As far as the bats, I like that kid McCauley. Obviously Langford. He's, not the youngest guy, but he's it seems like he's leading the younger guys because he still is a younger guy. Don't know where Seager is. Josh Young, I saw him a couple of games ago. Who knows? Berger, Jake Berger coming through with a couple of hits over these past couple of games, which is nice to see. I forget who he played in the last series, but Jake Berger had one of the last at-bats excuse me, of that game. And, there's DeGrom. Oh, he's pitching today. Well, that answers that question. DeGrom is up today, which is great. Perfect timing. We need him to win this game to take this series. But yeah, Jake Berger, it was like he had one of the last at-bats before we started playing Seattle, and he just swung at a pitch so far out of the zone. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Like, not even close. You know, like, I don't know, man. Like, it was almost in the dirt, and he's swinging at it. So, it's nice to see him get a couple of hits yesterday and contribute to the team. I believe it was game 1 versus the Mariners. I do love the challenge. You know, like the batters being able to challenge it. The call from the umpire. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna get this episode one way or another. That's just what it's been for me all weekend. I'm laying down, I'm wheezing, I'm sitting up, it makes my coughing worse. I don't know what to do other than to heavily medicate like I am. I'm going to be like Danny McBride in Pineapple Express. It's like I've been taking Vicodin to try to help, but that doesn't seem to be doing anything. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, with the challenges, dude. It was like 2 pitches in a row. I think it was game 1 of this Mariners series. Duran with a bullet to first just now, by the way. I believe it was game 1 of this series, and it was like 2 batters in a row. The first one was Wyatt Langford on a ball 4 that it was like a full count. Umpire called it a strike. Langford's like, whatever the signal is, tapping his helmet to say challenge. And the challenge actually happens pretty quick, which is cool. You know, and so he's already walking to first base while the umpire is doing the challenge. The call gets overturned, and same thing happens on the next batter. I forget who's behind Langford. But yeah, just a bad call out of the strike zone, and he challenged it, got the call overturned. I think he ended up getting a base hit off of it. I can't remember exactly. But the point being, I love how immediate it is. I love that they actually get the right call. And they kind of focus the camera on the umpire after the calls were overturned. And he's not like mad. He's not like getting pissed off or anything. He's just having to eat it. You know what I mean? Like, I got the calls wrong. And then the next pitch that's up in that same area after the 2 overturned calls, he didn't call a strike. So it's like I kind of get how this is working and how it's going to work moving forward. Just it's going to keep the umpire in check. It's honestly like live. It's teaching him live as the game's happening. You know, he got pretty much live training on the spot. Sorry, guys, this is going to be all chopped up. It's like I can't say more than 5 words without coughing, and I definitely can't laugh. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of people were against it at first, but I'm kind of seeing the beauty in it. You know, keep the umpire in check. Make sure he's calling. You know, it like literally taught him as the game moved on. That pitch, no matter who was making it up above in the zone like that, he never called a strike again that I saw after that point. So, Rangers leading 1-0 right now. It's very early in the game. It's top of the first. Let's go ahead and have another drink. Apparently, I need one. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers. All right, moving on to UFC. Love the event. The only thing I didn't like about the event was the main event. Like, before I could finish watching the fight, Paramount Plus switched me to, like, I don't know, ABC, the evening news or some shit. So I didn't actually get to see how the main event ended. I didn't get to see the KO/TKO, which I got to go back and watch that. But there was some great fights, dude. I have a new flyweight favorite after yesterday's event. Tamirov, holy shit, dude. That dude is short, but he is just so explosive. He is so powerful. I mean, once he had Erceg hurt, like, he's just doing these lunging, punches and nailing Erceg. And I've always kind of liked Erceg, you know what I mean? Like, I've watched him fight for the past couple of years, and I like what he can do. He doesn't have much of a ground game. His thing is just, standing and throwing. I'm not saying he doesn't have any ground game. It's just that's not ever his game plan, it seems like. So there's a point Tamirov tried to take him down, and Erceg scrambled, and got away, stood up to the feet again. And it was pretty good to see from Erceg because, like I said, he's not really known for having a ground game, in my opinion. But it was nice to see him scramble and get out of that situation and stand back up to where his strength is, which is on the feet. But yeah, dude, Tamirov just pounded him, bro. Like, there was nothing Erceg could do. He tried to stay in there. He tried to stay in the fight. He tried to throw with him. I don't know. I don't know what that means, for a fighter. If you are Erceg, what do you do after that fight? Do you change the game plan and go, okay, maybe I'm not the striker that I thought I was, or, I'm the striker that I thought I was, but these guys are coming in and they're just getting even better at striking. For being how short Tamirov is, that was honestly incredible. To have that much power and that much distance that he covered to actually tag Erceg with the punches was pretty cool. But yeah, what do you do if you're Erceg? Do you stick with the same, I'm a heavy-handed fighter, or do you start going more with the jiu-jitsu? I would think to, elongate your career, you might have to steer away from standing on the feet. You know what I mean? Like, clearly there's just younger, faster, stronger guys. There's guys who just have the talent, the gift, of striking, which I'm going to get into another fighter that I was really just impressed with. Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson's got some dynamite hands, man. I think he was on a 4-fight winning streak, all by KO/TKO. He comes in and does the same thing round 2 in his fight, which is, is great. While you have the power, it's wonderful. But it seems like, and I'm not telling anybody how to train, obviously. I would never do that. But it just seems like you gotta be more well-rounded. I mean, it's mixed martial arts. It's not just, it's not one-dimensional. That's the purpose. You use all the dimensions to be a well-rounded fighter. And with all of that said, dude, I mean, the jab is just one of those things. I say this all the time. I talk about this all the time. I'm just super obsessed with the jab. I'm obsessed with different boxers and how they jabbed. Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali obviously had a blinding jab, as they called it. Excuse me. Moving forward into mixed martial arts, the thing I said about Sean Strickland, he's not my favorite, like, personality at all by a long shot. He's not. But his fighting style, just the fact that he can go in there and dominate a mixed martial arts competition with a solid jab, just tells you everything you need to know. The jab is the foundation, not just for boxing. It can be a foundation for MMA too. I know there's a little bit of the bare knuckle thing going on last night. I did miss that, which isn't Conor McGregor's thing. It's the one that they do in the triangle. You can't even call it a ring. It's just a triangle. It's got like 4 ropes on each side, and it makes the shape of a triangle. It's very limited in the space that you have to move, which is, purposeful, obviously. You want to put those guys in as small of a pit as possible and just have them crack each other. So I did miss that. I know there was a PFL going on too. I tried to watch that. I couldn't find it, so I didn't get to watch that one. So tons of fight sports going on, combat sports as you might call them, and yeah, dude, I'm just glad I saw the UFC. Like, that was such a great event. And my who is it? Kuniev versus Fortune. That was probably my favorite fight of the night. I enjoyed the Urseg fight because of Tamirov, but I like Urseg too. So it sucks seeing him lose. But speaking of losing, I mean, you couldn't be more tough than Fortune. Tyrell Fortune, dude. He just hung in there. Kuniev, like, I'm pretty sure broke his ribs. He even told his corner, like, hey, my ribs are shot. And but Fortune, man, he tried, dude. He made it round 3, 112. I guess that's 112 into round 3, but still. I mean, he probably got his ribs broken in like the first round, and he still fought through. He still actually hit Kuniev with a couple of good lunging shots, because Kuniev's such a tall bastard, man. Like, it's hard to get to his head. But Fortune, like I said, he did hit him with some lunging shots, which was great. I mean, and this is after his ribs are broken. Talk about heart. That doesn't feel good to get hit, but it has to also not feel good to have to lunge your whole body to throw a punch to try to win a fight, to try to get a lucky, or maybe I shouldn't say lucky, I should say a clean shot. But, man, much respect to Fortune, dude. Like, just to battle through that and still even at some points look like you had a chance to catch him and win the fight was just super impressive, dude. Like, and as much as, here's what I don't understand too about DC. Every time he's announcing one of these fights and another fighter, he's punching the other guy and he hurts him, and then that fighter grapples with him, the fighter who hurt him, he grapples with him and starts trying to take him down or beat him up, in the clinch or whatever. DC is always talking about, you need to let him go. You need to let him go. You have a chance to finish him. Let him up so you have a chance to finish him. And it just dawned on me last night as he's doing he was saying that during one of the fights, let him up. You have a chance to finish him. I don't understand why guys don't let him up. And it's like, DC, do you realize that you're the guy with the microphone interviewing him after the fight? Ask him. Literally, if you say that in any fight, that should be one of the first questions you're asking him as you're standing in the octagon. Hey, why didn't you let him up so you could just knock him out and make it quicker? Like, why did you choose to... He never asks him. He just talks about it on the broadcast. And then when he's face-to-face with the fighter, maybe it slips in his mind. I don't know. But it's like that should be a question that you should be asking him. If you don't know the answer, the audience doesn't know the answer. That's kind of your job, is to ask him while you have him right there after the fight. Why didn't you let him up? So you could, end the fight faster. And it doesn't really even take a lot of times in the UFC, it doesn't even take a cold, knocking a guy out cold to win the fight. If you're swarming him with an attack, attack, as my voice goes, if you're swarming him with an attack, that's usually enough for the ref to be like, all right. He's not defending himself. He can't defend himself anymore. He's getting hit too much. I don't know why he never asks him. He's like in the perfect position. He announces the fight, and then he interviews him after the fight. Just ask him why that's happening. Because he says it over and over again. I'm not talking shit on DC. DC's probably one of my favorite MMA commentators of all time. Like, I'm going to miss him so much when he's gone. It's ridiculous. I love his vibe. I love his experience. But yeah, it's kind of weird. He always says stuff like that and never asks the fighter. It's like, you have the perfect chance, man. Ask him after the fight. You shove the microphone, which, I'm sure the fight is hard enough on cardio. The part I would be worried about is the after-fight interview, dude. These guys are, like, so out of breath and, like, trying to think of what they want to say while they just wrestled a 220-pound man down to the ground. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the worst time to interview someone. So anyway, great UFC event. Let's move on to NASCAR. Cheers, everybody. It's so funny saying cheers and I'm drinking water. It's terrible. NASCAR happening right now. Oh, no. Where's my buddy? Where's Christopher Bell? What's going on? 21st place currently. Lap 52 of 160. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Is that an oval track? It looks to be oval to me. But, man, we got to get some points here. I know Christopher Bell's been going through a lot. I haven't had a chance, so I'm actually going to watch him here today. I got to flip this on because I'm just so out of the loop on NASCAR lately, more than usual. So I'd love to catch back up and see how everybody's driving. Good for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ty Gibbs is in first place currently, followed by Heim, followed by McDowell, followed by, Hocevar. All three of my drivers are down. Bowman is 11th, Blaney is 13th, Bell is 21st. So I wonder if that wrist is still, like, ailing Christopher Bell. He's been trying, dude. He's been trying. I think I saw on Twitter that he actually had a good position to... Oh, my God. How did you drop that, Carter? He had a good position for this race, but, yeah, he's dropped down tremendously. I don't know what's going on, man. It's kind of worrying me that he's not going to make it. I think they take the top 10 at the end of the year. It's really starting to worry me. He might not make it into the top 10, which he's basically just way too good of a driver to not make it in the top 10. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we need a lot better position than that, He doesn't seem like a quitter, so I know he's not going to quit. Oh, he caught that. That's a catch. Did he catch it? No, Mariners just tied it. He trapped it off the ground. Good try, Langford. That was a tough try. So yeah, that's pretty much what I know about NASCAR. I didn't know it started at 1. It's been starting at 6 every Sunday for the past couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. And I've started using... it's kind of cool. It kind of cuts out a lot of work for me. Even though we know, like, AI is not perfect. If you try to make a video... Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a video that already exists, that I already made, that I've already posted to my YouTube page. And I'm letting AI do, like, the remix of it. Which is kind of cool. Like, to see it. You can kind of give it some parameters, and it makes a short little 10-second video out of what you gave it. It doesn't always work. Like, you can overwhelm it, which I did many times yesterday. It told me several times, come back, this service is being used a lot, or I forget how it worded it. But basically made it seem like everybody is using this right now, so we can't produce your video. But it's kind of cool. I took like a Red Dead video that I produced, that I put out, and I turned it into, and this is Red Dead Redemption 2, by the way, and I turned it into just a little 10-second clip of, what was it called? The Undead Nightmare from Red Dead 1. I just basically did Arthur Morgan shooting zombies. Nothing crazy, nothing special, but it was kind of cool that it generated it. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit more, just to see what it comes up with. Obviously, I have a lot of ridiculous ideas that are comical. But the one thing I did love about that video yesterday was the AI. Obviously it's showing Arthur Morgan kind of, not in first person view. I guess it'd be third person view. And he's firing off at these zombies, but it changes the gun. He's like using a rifle at first, like a bolt action rifle. And then at one point in the video, it changes to a shotgun, but it's also a bolt action shotgun, which is kind of comical. So he's like pulling back on the pump while he's, doing the bolt to, put the next round in, pretty much, which is, AI makes mistakes like that all the time. It's not a big deal. It's more about the concept of the video rather than it being perfect. You know what I mean? Like, there was one point where a zombie turned into a horse and then back into it was a zombie at first on the ground, then it turned into a horse, and then it turned into a horse with a zombie riding it. It's just, like it's like that whole Will Smith eating spaghetti thing. 5 years ago, we could all tell it was AI, but it's getting closer. You do it today, and it's like, damn, that's pretty close. The fork is kind of disappearing in his hand, so you can still tell it's AI, but it's getting better. Like, it's getting super close. So, yeah. I'm going to start doing a little bit more of those AI videos. I think they're kind of fun. It's not perfect. But it's kind of cool. You can come up with different concepts rather than... And it's basically just playing off of... This is what I love the most about it, is it's just playing off of something you've already created. You know what I mean? Like, I have a whole playlist... different playlists worth of just random videos I've uploaded from the random video games I play. But yeah, so I'm gonna start doing a little bit more AI stuff. I should, instead of doing little short videos, what I should look into is how to do, like, when I'm sick like this, how to do AI. And like, either it can be my regular voice and AI just cuts out every time I cough or sniffle, or you could probably by now to this point like program AI to, like, if you typed a whole episode's worth of words, it just read it out for you. There's the episode. You actually wouldn't have to even record it. It would just generate it. I don't know. That doesn't really sound cool to me. I'd rather be on here doing it myself. I like AI's help, but just not that much. I don't need that much help. But it would come in handy, like I said, for days like today, where I'm kind of struggling. This is going to sound all chopped up and pieced together because every time I've had to cough, I have to hit the pause button. I don't really have a cough button here. So, anyways, that's going to do it for me. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a DoorDash. Treat yourself to a Waymo. It's okay to drink water and drive. That's fine. I'm not going anywhere today, but I could. But yeah, just be safe out there, you guys. Let's go ahead and have our last drink of the episode. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to do the exact same thing I'm doing now for the rest of the day. I'm going to watch my sports. I'm going to lay around, try to stay hydrated, and that's it. Pray for the best. I don't know. I'm avoiding the doctor, basically. But if it gets worse, I mean, I'm just going to have to go. So hopefully it's not. I'm feeling like I'm rounding the corner. I'm almost there, so we'll see. But anyways, everybody have a safe week. I love you all. I will talk to you next week. Bye.